Catch one in Mac down in M for murder. Instead of a Jag, it's a Testarossa, not a PIMP, but I could dig it. Your mom's won the lottery and gave me the ticket. Your mom's won the lottery and gave me the ticket. She gave me and the mom's was with it. Episode 3, Return of the Sith. Your niggas know me, return with the gift, boy. We ain't here tonight. It's a month, mama. Boy. Yo, man. I this is what I have to remain in this light, cause, I be letting it slip a lot of times, and there's so much devil worship going on. So many people, like everybody that's in my life, want to play the role of the devil. Don't nobody want to step on my side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stomp down and make people sure that until they I know exactly what's going on, because all this ain't necessary, dog. It ain't necessary. You can it was never necessary. I don't know what the problem was. It didn't require all of this. You're trying to get something the hard way. But let me tell you what God did. Because they want to tell you, but they don't want to tell you.
God is judging America. Even as it was in ancient Egypt, it was the children of Israel and Pharaoh's mistreatment of them that caused God's appearance and his judgment. It was the Hebrews in Babylon, their presence and their mistreatment that caused God's judgment of Babylon. It is your mistreatment at the hands of white people that has caused God to send down his judgment on America. Now you, in your silliness, are so forgiving. White folk ain't even asked for forgiveness. I want you to hear me. White folk haven't even acknowledged that they did you wrong. They have not repented for what they did to your fathers and what they're doing to you and what they plan against your future. God knows their thoughts, their plans, and because he knew them before they came into existence, he planned their destruction before they were born. I want you to hear me, whether you know it or not.
I'm on this side. I'm on this side over here. So regardless of all the nasty things that we see going on, I don't like all the back and forth between black men over another black man's death. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's nastiness, and one of them is worshiping the devil. We gotta be blatant, we gotta be honest, and we gotta be straight up with it so that we can move forward. Because I don't want to deal with this all I don't want this to be the rest of my life. I don't want it to be the rest of life, period. That you gotta deal with who's the devil and who's not. No, we stomp them out, spread the raid, and you move forward and keep moving forward. So I'm just here, man. Let me know something. Somebody come through with something, because at this point, man, the charade is it's getting old. It's getting over with. I'm not gonna be here long, so it's best to get it all out. I'm not gonna be in this location long. Let me see. So there's a bunch of things I've been working on, but there's no point of dropping it and letting it be known, because if I'm still being silenced and then I'm still being attacked every day, I'm still working every day regardless. You know what I'm saying? Every minute I'm in my mind, I'm creating something. I'm gonna talk. I'm just have to talk on this one. You know. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna do the talk that I did on a different platform, and what I talked about was energy. In these days and times, that's all we got. Matter of fact, it's more valuable than money. Energy, you know what I'm saying? Money is energy. That's why they don't want to give any away, because they gotta hold on to it, or else they're gonna start crumbling. And you know, I'm not no young boy. I'm not no youngin'. So I come from an era where I seen a lot of gruesomeness. You know, maybe it's a lot in these days and ages. And the time that I come from, it wouldn't be a lot. But I seen more than enough to let me know that stomping down and taking shit, you know what I'm saying, it's like that's usually the way stuff got done. That's how stuff got done, when you stomp down and you take it. And I never really got anything if I didn't take it. So that's what we gotta do, man. We gotta take it back. So I'm gonna be talking
podcaster,
about
content creator, YouTuber. Riverside is your online recording studio. That is the quickest and easiest way.
This eyewitness to history, she's kept silent all these years. The dark day, deeply personal and deeply painful as well. We met her at the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee, which stands on the grounds of the Lorraine Motel, the site of Dr. King's assassination.
Martin Luther King.
And I'm standing on this side of us.
So in the photo, Mary Ellen Ford has stood here before. Where is Dr. King?
In front of the 306.
So right up there.
Yeah.
This picture taken in 1968 is the photo
this
the world.
famous picture, right? This famous picture. I got, you know, I understand Martin Luther King, because a lot of people want to, you know, I've seen a bunch of talk. I'm from the Bronx, right? So, you know, they, in my day and age, being from uptown, they want to paint it as, oh, Malcolm X was from Harlem. You know, he held down Harlem. He's not from Harlem, but he was doing work in Harlem at the Audubon, you know, everything like that. And Malcolm X on 7th and everything. So Malcolm X got tons of love. This is what America did to us. America did this to us. Like, not our people didn't do it to us. You get what I'm saying? Our people didn't put Malcolm and Martin against each other. They were both soldiers of the same struggle. You get what I'm saying? And so, being from the Bronx, and, you know, I love Malcolm X too. I grew up with waking up to Malcolm X looking at me on the wall every day. So of course I already know that. You see this. You see where I'm coming from now. But they don't want to tell you about Dr. King is that Dr. King is smarter. He's smart. He wasn't a pawn. The way that they want to paint it, when you see a lot of these stories and these YouTubers talk, they want to make it seem as though if Dr. King was just a pawn for the civil rights movement. They see the civil rights movement been co-opted today, but they only talk about NAMBLA and stuff like that. And that's you know, them doing devil work. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what Dr. King said. Never once, you can't find never once in where he talked about sexuality, because Dr. King was black and white girls. So he had a thing for white girls. Listen, I don't care about what no other man do in the bedroom. I don't. When you come forward with that knowledge and the information, you are a devil. Because I don't care what you doing. I don't care what position you like, dog. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't care about that type of stuff. I don't be. That's why I stopped dapping people up. I stopped dapping men up. You know what I'm saying? You get the knuckles or you get the elbow. Cause I don't wanna. You know what I'm saying? But being from the Bronx, they wanna. You get the nation. You get the nation real heavy, and that's the great thing. But at the same time, in my day and age, they talk down on Dr. King. My Ruger, do you like Martin Luther? I ain't trying to go out like Luther King. Those are the bars that I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on that. But when you know the truth, right? When you know the truth, you know that Dr. King, Martin Luther the King, you know that he's from down south. That's why I be having a problem with down south. Because when you come down south, they get on that Civil War shit. They will, oh, where you from? Every time I used to open my mouth, I say, yo, hello, what's up, how you doing? Where you from? Where you from? Like, dog, focus on the goal. Focus on the mission. You know what I'm saying? But they want to know where you from. Where you from? That's the number one thing, so they know what box to put you in, how to treat you. Now, Dr. King, being from first he was born in Montgomery, then he came to Atlanta. No, he was born in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. I'm sorry, he was born in Atlanta, and and so it's like they tell you all this stuff about where he got his knowledge from. Yes, he did get some teaching from some Germans, and those Germans did some work with the Nazis, and he got some history from them. He got some history from other people. Yes, his name was changed. It wasn't always Martin Luther. His dad was somebody also, not Martin Luther King Sr. was somebody. But it wasn't always Martin. It was Michael. Yes, we know that. That doesn't change anything. It's the fact that the name was changed because they know Martin Luther from Europe was a historical guy. You know what I'm saying? They look up to him, and he knew that if we want to be looked up to on that status, we gotta do the same way. Like, do you want to join the NBA or do you just want to ball on the court outside? You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be looked up to logo. You're not going to be the next logo balling, you know what I'm saying, outside or going to the gym. You get what I'm saying? You can only be the next logo if you are in the NBA. So that's what they understood. And so when you do this, listen, a lot of this information, I'm going off of the Buffalo Times, all right? Don't blame me. Blame the Buffalo Times. Not them, but us. Not us, but the Buffalo Times, right? So, the Buffalo Times. And you see this picture here. This picture here, right? You see them pointing up. Oh, the bullet came. Somebody sniped Dr. King. Somebody sniped it from the top of the building, and the gamut goes deep. It goes deep, nasty, and heavy. Cause I'm black and heavy. That's how nasty it goes. Because don't you know how many documentaries that I've seen as growing up to where they perpetuated as somebody was on top of a building that sniped Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? When the autopsy was done, the trajectory of the bullet, you could listen, we're in the age of Aquarius now. We're in a different age now. So, you see, the truth gets revealed. The truth got revealed. And the bullet is going upwards into his neck. Going upwards. So, he was shot from below. You see, he's standing up. He's up here on the balcony. He was shot from below. But you see the famous picture, and they're all in unison, pointing up top. So what do you think that is? What do you think that is? This seems like a setup. This seems like a setup. Because you up here, the bullet came from down there, but all three of y'all pointing up top. Y'all know better that it came from below because y'all was in on it. because y'all was jealous of Dr. King, or the people, or some of them came and approached you and said, you gonna die if you don't get down. Now, that's why, hip hop. This is one of the reasons why hip hop was created. That's why I don't like when they tell the story. Oh, hip hop is created so everybody can dance and feel good. So they can dance and feel good, and it's for everybody. Black, white, yellow, purple, tall, short, humpback, midget, hangnails. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. Hip hop is for everybody. Like, no, hip hop was created because y'all been lying. Y'all been lying to us. Y'all be lying. So hip hop was created so that we can get the truth. You saw the Grandmaster Flash video. You think people want to hit? You see the reason why Grandmaster Flash in that video went to the top is because of the realness of it. You can't. Ain't no lying about the nastiness that was going on out there. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want nobody. We're tired of people lying to us. We're tired of people lying to us. I'm tired of people lying to me. Like, why are you lying? I'm gonna find out. How you think? Are you just gonna keep living after that? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. It's gonna be what it is, man. I'm wasting a lot of time. Yo, what's up? Who this? They wasted a lot of time, and I'm me personally, like I said, I'm tired of people lying to me. I wasted a lot of time letting my energy be drained by complete maggots. By complete maggots. And now that they want to make it seem as if I was draining something from them, like they was like, no, I wasn't draining nothing from them. I didn't get nothing. You was draining from me. You get what I'm saying? So all three of y'all point up top when the bullet came from below. And so Dr. King's on the floor. All three of y'all are susceptible. All three of y'all are in on it. I'm going to say that information about who took their t-shirt off. One of them standing up here took their t-shirt and said that they're going to dry up Dr. King's blood. They put their shirt over Dr. King to get all his blood in their shirt. Then went around wearing that shirt, parading around in that shirt, saying, "Oh, I got the blood of Dr. King on me." You know what I'm saying? That's what they do to you when you are a special one. When you special, they want your blood and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And knowing this information is when things go deep. Knowing this information is what they want to hide from you. When you notice this is what they want to hide from you, because quick anecdote. I was in a nasty place, nasty environment, whatever, for a second, and then I cut my knuckle on something. Then it started bleeding like crazy, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna dry this shit off. I'm gonna dry this off. Make sure it stop bleeding. Cause I know if I leave this here, if I throw it in the garbage, if I leave it here, they're gonna take this and hang it up on their wall. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna hang it up on their wall. You get what I'm saying? So when we know this is what they're scared of. They don't want you to know this. You know what I'm saying? My thing is like, when Dr. King knew this, finally found out, you know what I'm saying? Because they killed him right when he found out. About a year later, they killed him after this. So listen, I'm expecting a lot. And, because Dr. King should have died rich. But Dr. King didn't die rich. None of our leaders died rich. That's Big Pac and Biggie should have died rich. But no, they don't die rich. You die and then somebody else gets rich. That's the game. That's America. And so, the bullet came from below. They're pointing up top. They all three of them are in on it. Somebody take off his shirt, put the get the t-shirt full of blood, go around parading it and say, I got the blood of Dr. King on me. Because you know what that's equal to.
Would come to know. On the balcony of the famed Lorraine Motel, 3 people point toward the sound of a gunshot. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. lays dying at their feet. A small crowd can be seen gathered below. Where are you in this picture?
You see, this is what I'm saying. They're still keeping the lie up. They're still keeping the lie up. A shame on y'all. For y'all, a small crowd is seen below. Because this is the angle that's being taken. You're not. What about from behind from the other angle? Because the other angle, imagine Dr. King standing up. The bullet went in his neck. They said he's staying in the same position as them. It said the bullet went in his neck right here. The bullet went. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pointing at the screen. The bullet went in his neck right here. Right. Boom. From below. Bullet went in his neck. Where? From what angle? From what side? Then the bullet wouldn't be coming from over there. You get what I'm saying? So, but they want to lie to us. Tell the truth. We want the truth. This is not the truth. You are up here lying to us. The same way that I was lied to for years growing up. The same way they perpetuated on documentaries and everything like that for the longest. You know what I'm saying? On the History Channel and all that. No. Tell the truth. The bullet didn't come from there. This is the reason why they wanted. This is the reason why my platform was knocked down. The reason why they want me silenced. The reason why they don't want me to talk, because they know that I know, and they said that we're trying to pull these lies off. It's the age of Aquarius, and the truth tellers know. And so if we got one of them out here telling the truth, then we can't pull this off. That's why you think it's only one person. I only see one person on my live right now. Why you think that? I don't care no more, because I know that is not the truth. So I'm just going to keep going. And I know that you're lying, because they want this hidden.
That's me right there.
Right there. Yeah. That young woman in white.
Now, I believe she's a Fed. I believe she's a federal agent. I believe that she is an agent of chaos. She wants to point to herself. She was down there. So if you were down there, you saw the actual gunman. You saw what happened on the other side. You saw what happened across from you. And you up here on the news. You want clout. You want to be on TV. You want to be on the news. You don't want to tell the truth about Black history. This is Black History Month. Right? You don't want that. You want to keep telling this lie.
Is Mary Ellen. Frozen in time, April 4th, 1968. It's a day she's only talked about with the closest of family members. Until now. Were you having a conversation with anyone?
The reason why she won't talk to nobody, because she has to be honest about what her evil deeds. And she don't really want to tell a lot of people her evil deeds, because she don't want to feel bad about herself. But yo, a shame on you. We are shaming you. We don't look up to you. We don't see anything positive about you. We see an evil person.
No, I was not. I was just standing there, like in shock.
Witness number 43. Then, Mary Ellen Norwood. This Memphis police report lists her as female, colored, 21, and employed at the Lorraine as a waitress and cook. What was it like working here?
I loved it. I did. I really loved it.
So you loved working here. You loved working and during the Jim Crow era at a hotel. Do you see what's going on here? You got some black lady up here smiling. Oh, I loved it. I love Jim Crow. I love the Jim Crow. They used to lynch black men in the backyard and cut their Johnsons off, and now they was telling me to barbecue it. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you smiling at? Dr. King got killed at your job and you smiling.
Walter and Lori Bailey owned the motel in the segregated South. It was a safe place to stay for prominent black musicians like B.B. King and Aretha Franklin. Who's your favorite?
Isaac Hayes was my favorite, because he was always here, and I got to see him every time.
But the most famous guest of all, Dr. King, drawn to Memphis by striking sanitation workers.
Must be able to be running around. Get this.
She was a thought in chin. Talking about Isaac Hayes was your favorite. We know the story. We know how Isaac Hayes used to get down. I done heard some stories about Isaac Hayes. He was a master.
Straighten up, cause Dr. King is coming. Dr. King is coming.
Mary Ellen caught glimpses of King as he came into it from the hotel. At one point, delivering food to him and other civil rights leaders.
They had hamburgers. All of them had hamburgers. When I took the tray in, I set it on the table. He was laying on the bed.
Dr. King?
Yeah.
Someone over here.
Because he smoked.
You see what I'm saying? This is a way for them to damage our black icons. Black History Month, they don't honor our black icons without throwing dirt, salt, all type of shit on their name. Dr. King, oh yeah, because he smoked. Dr. King didn't smoke. If he did smoke, he wasn't smoking no cigarettes. Don't you understand like the level of shit that he's dealing with? This is Dr. King we talking about. Trying to make it sound like Dr. King is just some regular ass nigga. You know, just some Negro. He's just a regular Negro laying on the bed, smoking a cigarette. Are you serious? Don't you see what's going on with this? Yo, this is a horrible, nasty report. That's why we're going to be doing our own acknowledgement of Black History Month on our icons. Because after this, I'm going to talk about something else. But I see what's going on here. It's February, and they want to attack black icons. Dr. King, you was delivering hamburgers. You was delivering hamburgers with your skirt pulled, you know what I'm saying, or extra high above the knees. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, I took the tray and set it on you delivering trays. Trays up.
On the evening of April 4th, Mary Ellen was cooking in the kitchen.
At first I thought it was firecrackers, you know. People were shooting out firecrackers. Then we all ran outside to see what was going on, and he was laying on the balcony. And I'm standing there, I'm just dumbfounded,
you smiling.
shocked, like, what just happened? This don't happen.
Don't you see, listen, this is a different age. This is a different age. You gotta up your game when you're trying to pull these lies off. Whatever station this is, whatever CBS, whatever, like, y'all gotta up y'all shit when you're trying to pull these lies off. We know if you could. You said you cooking in the kitchen when Dr. King got killed. You was delivering burgers. You was a nobody. You are a nobody. They put you in. They not saying you, President. How we look at you. No. You know us. That's it's part of our problem as black people. How we give certain people too much credit in our community just for being old and black. But, you know, they said, oh, we have to, what's the word? We have to neutralize the people that have daily interaction with him. They got to be neutralized. I don't want to hear from you. You was in the kitchen cooking while Dr. King got killed. You said it sounded like firecrackers. That means you obviously don't know what the fuck going on. It sounded like fire, like you was in the kitchen cooking and everything like that. While the shooting went down, you don't know anything. You come outside, you see these three maggots pointing at the sky, knowing damn well the bullet didn't come from up there. The bullet came from below, which is what the autopsy showed. But they, you know, it's 1968, so they're not thinking that far down the line. You know what I'm saying? They thinking that they're gonna get away with it. You know what I'm saying? You running around with Dr. King's blood on you because you jealous. You want to be down. You know, we have to neutralize the maggots that see him every day. You would neutralize. That's why you're in the picture. If you're in the picture, you don't matter. If you're in the picture, you do not matter. What matters is there's not a picture of what matters. Okay. That picture exists somewhere, but I have never seen it. Somebody has seen it somewhere. You tell me, what is the opposite view of that look like? What is the opposite view? How many people were below the balcony? You know, because he was getting ready for a march, I believe, right? He was getting ready for a march, which is why they all had suits on. We all know about the ones that didn't have ties on. Everybody knows about that logic. That's why the sniper knew not to hit hit them because they all black. You know what I'm saying? They all look alike to the sniper. He would have sniped all of them if it was up to him. But just the one with the tie on.
Here, it's not okay.
When you keep something bottled up for a half century and finally share it can be overwhelming.
Come on with this
After all
nasty
these
ass
years,
shit,
you still
dog.
get emotional.
Yes, I guess because I never even talked about it. Because I get so emotional.
I think Dr. King might have hit her.
What were people saying?
They just yelling. You know, they shot Dr. King. Somebody shot Dr. King. And that's all you could hear.
Miss Mary Ellen, did you know when you saw him immediately that he was dead?
No. We didn't think he was gonna die.
How you doing?
You didn't?
No.
Why not?
He can't.
Martin Luther King Jr. was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mary Ellen stayed at the motel for 3 days after Dr. King was killed.
Okay,
as the country's spotlight turned to the Lorraine.
We just plugged up the lines.
First step and Facebook.
Because we kept getting calls from reporters. Even the payphone on the outside. Did Dr. King get shot? Did Dr. King get shot?
I was about to, but you know,
Well, she'll forever be there, standing in the blurry shadows of history. Mary Ellen chooses to remember a different moment with the man that inspired so many.
The thing that really stands out to me the most is seeing all these people sitting on the brick wall, waiting to get a glimpse of Dr. King.
When people knew he was going to be at the hotel, the motel,
they were there.
They would come.
They would come.
Just to see Dr. King.
Just to see Dr. King.
Hold on, let me go back. I'm sorry, y'all.
Special thanks to Miss Mary Ellen for sharing her story with us.
He was lying, dog.
Did you know when you saw him immediately that he was dead?
No. We didn't think he was gonna die.
He didn't die on the spot. What are you talking about, dog? He didn't die, and he wasn't DOA. Dr. King died at the hospital. Now, you know, from our reports, talking about our reports, say that somebody suffocated him when he showed up to the hospital because the bullet wasn't enough. They know that this is a black king that got killed, so you know he's different. You know what I'm saying? They that little weak ass, they didn't have I guess they didn't have 223s back then, right? I don't know, but so that bullet that went in his neck, they shot from below and missed the artery or something because they had to suffocate Dr. King when he got to the hospital. Then that's the part of the story that they don't want to tell you about. That was the thing of this. I believe the same thing happened to Malcolm X. You get to the hospital, you're not, you know, they see the black man is God. The black man is king. The black man is ruled. So, you know, it takes more than what it takes to kill, you know, pig flesh, to kill a pig. So he's still kicking. Let's put a pillow over his face and suffocate him. You know what I'm saying? Let's suffocate him and everything like that. That's what they want to do to us. That's what they want to do. You know, because there's a lot of stories, man, but the truth about Dr. King, you know, I'm gonna get to something more of that in a second.
You didn't?
No.
Why not?
He can't.
Martin Luther King Jr. was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mary Ellen stayed at the motel for 3 days after Dr. King was killed, as the country's spotlight turned to the Lorraine.
We just plugged up the lines because we kept getting calls from reporters. Even the payphone on the outside. Did Dr. King get shot? Did Dr. King get shot?
Well, she'll forever be there, standing in the blurry shadows of history. Mary Ellen chooses to remember a different moment with the man that inspired so many.
She reminiscing.
To me, the most is seeing all these people sitting on the brick wall, waiting to get a glimpse of Dr. King.
When people knew
that it was filling
at the hotel, the motel,
they were there.
They were coming.
They were coming.
Just to see Dr. King.
Just to see Dr. King.
A special thanks to Miss Mary Ellen for sharing her story with us. And here's the thing. Her own brother did not know that story until 5 years ago.
Why did she decide now was the time, do you think?
And you know, she's in her
how she gonna go around talking about she splat Martin Luther King? Everybody, she's not Coretta. You get what I'm saying? She can't go around just saying that shit all willy nilly. So that shit came out at Thanksgiving or something like that. Yeah, we know. But you see, the truth about it is, I don't even want to hit. I don't want to hear them talk. Matter of fact, I let them talk and see what lies they tell.
Yeah. And she said something that you said, a variation of to me a long time ago. All of our stories aren't ours to take with us. Yeah. And I think she got to a point where she realized that. But she drives school buses now. She's in Lansing, Michigan. Her own boss. She goes to get permission to come and do this shoot with us. Her own boss. His hands trembling as he's writing the permission slip, says she can have the day off. Had no idea. She's worked there 20 years. She's been a school bus driver.
And that moment when you said, when you bottle something up for that many years and it comes out, that was the moment. And wow, that was beautiful.
Yo, dog, I gotta stop right there because listen, the lies don't stop. The lies don't stop. The agenda don't stop. They're going to make it seem as if Martin Luther King was a sap ass sucker that didn't know no better, that just got paraded around to give speeches. I have a dream. All he had a dream was about little white boys and little white girls. You know what I'm saying? That's all he had a dream about, right? And so they don't talk about the real. Because if they talk about the real, then you can't use him for everything. You can only use him for us if you talk about the real. But no, let's talk about I Have a Dream, where John F. Kennedy told him that, yo, if you come here and give a speech here at the monument, I really don't want, you can't be up here talking about black people like that. Because if you pay attention to the I Have a Dream speech, he didn't mention black people once. He didn't mention black people once in that I Have a Dream speech. Unless, and he didn't mention black people. He said little black boys and little white girls and stuff like that, which they are definitely not a fan of today, which is why they have calmed that down to, speaking of that, using that speech as a reference so much, but they're not trying to promote little white boys and little white girls. But John F. Kennedy told him, yo, you can't be saying talking about black people like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta first of all, you gotta let all of our hippies, you gotta let all the hippie college teenagers join in on the crowd, so they can make it seem as if white people were down with the civil rights movement and cared about black people when they look back in history. Gotta put all these white hippies in the crowd, and then they going to then you can give your speech and you can't talk about black people, so it'll look like you're talking about all of us, and we could use you for everybody. And then you see 50, 60 years later, they want to use Martin Luther King for everything. Martin Luther King wasn't talking about y'all. Y'all got to get your own Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? How long has it been where every other race in this world and every other group, every factor in this group, they want to use Martin Luther King? At least get your own Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Have your own. I don't even want to say that, man. But look at this. Now, I knew about Martin Luther King meeting up with the nation and everything. You know, I would, I would suggest you listen to this on your own time, but because it's long and it's more than just this video. But is this why you killed Dr. King? Because at this point, Malcolm X is killed already. Malcolm X is dead already. You know, so we know J. Edgar Hoover is the Hitler of America. Y'all want to talk all this stuff about Hitler? Oh, we hate. Oh, you can't say anything about Hitler. Oh my God, you can't say Hitler. You can't say Hitler. And then y'all protect J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover got a whole movie. Got a whole movie on J. Edgar Hoover. There's the Hitler documentary every other day on the History Channel. Y'all hate Hitler so bad, but y'all got a whole History Channel dedicated just to Hitler. Then go on Netflix right now. Look at the Hitler documentaries. Are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? This country, gonna come through with the truth one day, because you up here and you telling lies about how much you hate Hitler and everything like that, but you secretly idolize Hitler and you secretly love Hitler, but you know that it's disrespectful to the Jewish community to show love to Hitler, but you love Hitler. You love Hitler, America. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to make it seem as if, oh man, we condemn bad people. We condemn bad people and everything like that. No, you don't. Stop lying. You love the bad shit. You love the freaky nasty shit. If it ain't freaky and it ain't nasty, you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? We know that. So you out here and you idolizing Hitler, but you protecting J. Edgar Hoover. How is that? How is that? J. Edgar Hoover said we have to prevent the Black Messiah. I didn't see that movie on Fred Hampton. See, I call it the Fred Hampton movie, but it's really a movie about what's the rat ass nigga name? William O'Neill. Cause you see in hip hop, right? That's what's going on with hip hop right now, which is why I gotta stomp down so hard, because they're trying to take hip hop down the same way they took down the Black Panthers, the same way they took down the civil rights movement, the real civil rights movement, because of the fact they're using all these people. All this talk about who snitching and who not snitching. That's talk coming from them. That's talk coming from them. You know what I'm saying? There's the hip hop industry, and then there's the hip hop police industry. It's 2023. We got to be honest about that. You get what I'm saying? The hip hop police. There are plenty of your favorites. They're not hip hop. They are hip hop police. You know what I'm saying? Real hip hop, it doesn't come out like that. Real hip hop is meant for the select few. It's meant for the select few. You can't just get locked up for a murder and then start rapping, and now all of a sudden you're a rapper going to the top. You one of them. You know what I'm saying? You one of them. I'm talking about the select few. Malcolm and Martin, they were the select few. Biggie and Pac, they was the select few. DMX, the select few. Who else? P, the select few. All the other legends we know, those are the select few. Nas, the select few. The game ain't for everybody, but that's what the lie that they want to tell. Those people that I'm talking about, they're in the position of Martin Luther King. They're in the position of MLK and Malcolm X, with the J. Edgar Hoover hovering over them. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have it to where we have it now. You know what I'm saying? To protect them and to speak out and to let them know that we're on that side. We're on that side. We are not on the side with the hip hop police. You get what I'm saying? That's why this story is important. That's why this story is important, because it's two different sides to that. It's two different sides. You get what I'm saying? And is this why y'all killed Martin Luther King? When the truth got revealed? Is that why? Man, he gonna be just like Malcolm. He gonna be stomping down on us. Because you saw the speech where Martin Luther King said, yo, when we go up to DC, we coming for our check. You want our check. All this marching and shit that I done did, all the bats and rocks I done took to the head, to the face. Thought I did that for nothing? Like, no, I'm coming for the check. And then when he does that, that's when y'all kill him. Right? And that's why when I was speaking last night, and the shit goes around in this is full circle. This is full circle we talking about. Mob ties. You think Martin Luther King would have been down with mob ties? Or do you think Martin Luther King would have came to Houston for a march? Then the next thing we see is the headline talking about Jay Prince met with Martin Luther King at the Lorraine Motel. Like nigga, you don't want to march for the mission. You want your name in the headlines. You love this shit, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like it's nasty. You think Elijah? You think the messenger would have been down with mob ties, or he would have said, "Listen, boy." You get what I'm saying? That we talking about the real here. We talking about the real. We're not talking about this petty bullshit that they focus on who snitching, which rapper snitching, which rapper not snitching. That's not talk coming from us. That's talk coming from them. They are trying to put that into our community the same way they did with the Black Panthers to make it seem, because Fred Hampton was aware of that there were snitches and informants down with the Black Panthers. Then you got to be on the lookout for them. He was aware. He didn't know that one of them was on his own team in his kitchen. He didn't know that shit, but he knew that they were down. But that comes from, when J. Edgar Hoover team used to be writing letters. You used to make up letters and make it seem as if you were addressing it as if they were one of the Panthers themselves. To Fred Hampton, sending him fake ass letters, telling him that there's a snitch on the team. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit. That's the same thing that's going on in hip hop right now. And I'm seeing every single day that people are eating this shit up. They keep eating this shit up and eating it up, and they believe in this shit. And the more they believe it, the more and more hip hop goes down, and the higher and higher hip hop police goes. Cause they want control. They want it all. They want it all. That's why at the Grammys you see, they try to get their devil worship off. They were trying their best to devil worship. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make it a devil worshiping ceremony. They tried their best. Yeah, we know about the Grammy being whatever some phallus or whatever like that. We all know that, but it has moved on. It has elevated. It's been elevated. And so what did the show end with? The show ended talking about God. God did. When you got a freaky white devil dancing and twerking and shit, but the show ended with God did. You know? I want to talk about something else. There's something else I want to talk about. I love this shit, right, Jason? I love this shit. You don't love this though. You love the cloud. You don't love this. You don't love the real. Now the thing is, who's next, right? The next person we talking about? Remember when Mr. West said Rosa Parks was a plant. I'm waiting for February to talk about this because I talked about it a little bit in a post on my Instagram, but I took it down because it just wasn't the time, But talking about it now during Black History Month, this is when it should be talked about. I know Rosa Parks being a plant, just calling her a blatant plant. Is that it may be true. I don't know. It may be true, but the truth about Rosa Parks. I want to bring up something else real fast. Because we love Rosa Parks. There's no disrespect to Rosa Parks, the lady herself. But we're talking about the name at this point, what it represents and what it stands for nowadays. Rosa Parks. Everybody move to the back of the bus. A legendary song, man. But this is what a baddie looks like in 1969. 68 or 65 or whatever. You see Martin Luther King in the background, so he's still alive. This is a bad man back in the day. Man, Rosa, I'm trying to see what Rosa talking about. Trying to see him, trying to bring her a bean pie. Got some bean pies for her. Got some bean pies and a cherry pop. Pop, what they called it back in the days, pop soda, whatever, whatever they called it. In a ham sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the longest, me growing up, they always made it seem as if black men get rich and get a white girl. When they get on, they leave your ass for a white girl, right? That's what I grew up. That was being taught and pushed. That black men get money and get a white girl. And if you can't get a white girl, you get a light skinned girl. No, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand it. Because I'm from the Bronx, and I'm like, yo, if you light skinned, you Puerto Rican. Just say you get a Puerto Rican girl. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it just never. I did not come to the South and everything like that. I wasn't born in the South, so going back and forth, like seeing stuff like that. Like I know there are light skinned black girls, dark skinned black girls, and they're Puerto Ricans. I didn't look at light skinned black girls as being the same as Puerto Ricans or Hispanic, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's a game that I just never fell for that. I never believed in that. But Rosa Parks, she was half black, mama white, daddy white, mama black, so that's super fat, right? Yeah, because her dad was a Jewish man. This is no disrespect to nobody at all. Just telling the truth. Just being real. Her dad was a Jewish man. Let's before we get to Claudette Colvin, I just want to go over the background of Rosa Parks. I'm a white, daddy black, so that's super fat. What the fuck, man? God damn. Yeah, nobody want to come through for the realness. They don't want to hear the real. They don't want to hear the real. Trust me, they don't want to hear that. They want some more talk about who's snitching. Who's snitching? Who told police? Who came home? Who's still going? That's the talk they want to have. No. We say that talk for the real, outside. Not for the agents, so you can take that information and use it for your own. You know what I'm saying? I damn sure don't want to hear from Jesse Lee Peterson about Rosa Parks. You know, he's mad he ain't black.
Recording on Zoom? Who still does that?
Mama white.
Thankfully, with Riverside, you can record audio and video.
On March 2nd, 1955, 9 months before Rosa Parks resisted segregation laws by refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin did absolutely the same thing. However, for public relations and perception reasons, Claudette Colvin was overshadowed and ignored for many years. Claudette herself didn't talk about it. However, she delivered a heart-rending first-hand account interview with the BBC detailing how she looked inequality and racism in the face and said no. Here's a quote from Claudette describing the racial and social climate of the time.
You see the difference in the optics? You see the difference in the optics, and you see what purpose it serves. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad thing of America. You know, it's a sad thing of America because we know it's the reason why. It's the reason why. I don't want to say it. I guess I'll be too truthful. But I'll just leave out names. It's the reason why a lot of people don't go with their talent over their looks, and they wanna cap off their looks first before they let their talents out, when it's supposed to be the other way around.
Segregation everywhere. The churches, buses, and schools were all segregated, and you couldn't even go into the same restaurants. I remember during Easter one year, I was to get a pair of black patent leather shoes, but you could only get them from the white stores. So my mother drew out the outline of my feet on a brown paper bag in order to get the closest size, because we weren't allowed to go in. Claudette did, however, find solace in the fact that her segregated black school gave her a tremendous education in black history. Claudette says, "We learned about Negro spirituals and recited poems, but my social studies teacher went into more detail. They lectured us about Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, and we were taught about an opera singer called Marian Anderson who wasn't allowed to sing at Constitutional Hall just because she was black, so she sang at Lincoln Memorial instead." Claudette would later go on to assert that it was the example and strength of these women that compelled her to resist the oppressive system that refused to see her as equal. On March 2nd, 1955, Claudette and her friends finished school early. Claudette says, "We walked downtown and my friends and I saw the bus and decided to get on. It was right across the road from Dr. Martin Luther King's church. The white passengers were always seated at the front of the bus, and the black passengers were seated at the back of the bus. The bus driver had authority to assign the seats, so when more white passengers got on the bus, he asked for the seats." End quote. The conflict arose when a white passenger found herself standing in the aisle between Claudette and her friends. They were sitting a little more than halfway through the bus, with 2 of them on the right side of the bus and 2 of them on the left. Even though it was only necessary to make room for 1 passenger, the driver wanted all of them to move to the back and stand so that the white passenger could sit. Claudette says, he wanted me to give up my seat for a white person, and I would have done it for an elderly person, but this was a young white woman. 3 of the students had got up reluctantly, and I remained sitting next to the window, end quote. You see, under the perverse rationale of segregation, the white woman still couldn't sit down because a black passenger could not even be on the same row as a white passenger. Claudette told the driver that she had paid her fare and that it was her constitutional right to remain where she was, Claudette said.
Now, when we talk about reparations, right? When we talk about reparations, it's America paying for the wrong that they stamped in, you know what I'm saying? Because they were not able to pull this Jim Crow off without them passing laws. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about being called the N-word or anything like that. We're talking about you passed a law so that you could be racist towards me. You know what I'm saying? You passed a law. You made it a law. You tried to stamp your racism. You didn't want Claudette Colvin getting the clout from the civil rights movement because the civil rights movement became a thing about clout. You know what I'm saying? These are the people operating it didn't understand it at the time. They didn't understand it. But it was all about clout for America. Because for America it would look great, it would look good and look cute with them correcting their wrong in front of the world. But they really weren't correcting their wrong. They were building up a hero so that a villain can kill him, and they can play the villain and kill him and hide behind it. And then at the same time pass some laws which will, you know, on the surface look like they're doing something, but really they're not. You know, that's what the reparations are for. We're still on that march to get that check that Martin Luther King was trying to get. And if you didn't give it to Martin Luther King, he was trying to get it because, matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to that.
Whenever people ask me, why didn't you get up when the bus driver asked you? I say it felt as though Harriet Tubman's hands were pushing me down on one shoulder and Sojourner Truth's hands were pushing me down on the other shoulder. I felt inspired by these women because my teacher taught us about them in so much detail.
It's disrespectful for them to keep showing this picture.
I wasn't frightened, but disappointed and angry because I knew I was sitting in the right place. I was more defiant, and then they knocked my books out of my lap, and one of them grabbed my arm. I don't know how I got off that bus, but the other students say they manhandled me off the bus and put me in the squad car. But what I do remember is when they asked me to stick my arms out the window, and that's when they handcuffed me, end quote. Claudette was taken to an adult jail and put in a cramped cell with nothing in it but a broken sink and a cot with no mattress. Claudette says, I was scared and it was really, really frightening. It was like those Western movies where they put the bandit in the jail cell.
You know, that full interview is on YouTube, so I don't want to hear but the narration. I'm sorry, but I do want to bring something else up, and then we'll go to a couple of different things because this story I didn't intend to. I wanted to talk about this story for a couple of reasons, but as you can see, once the truth gets revealed, you get killed. Once the truth gets revealed, you get killed. And then you see what's happening to my platform. All we were doing was revealing the truth. All we did was reveal truth. You know? Then that's when they want to kill you. All of a sudden, my platform is silenced and dead. Got other people running off with my, purpose. And I look at them as other soldiers in the war, not people trying to steal link. But let's get back to it. Rosa Parks' father. This is Rosa Parks' father here, James McCauley. James McCauley. The Library of Congress. And as you can see from this picture, this is a Jewish man. He looks to me, this is why the Jewish community and the black community are really tied in together. I don't believe that. And the story about who the true Jews or who the real Jews are and everything like that, it's you know, it ends up being controversial. But who the real Jews are and everything like that, the real, you know, I don't think that it should be the real. I believe that we should work together. I think, you know, together, you know, two is always better than one, right? So when we look at this picture, this is Rosa Parks' father. His name is James McCauley. His name isn't James Parks. But we have to go and dig further to see if her name was Rosa McCauley. Was her name Rosa McCauley? Or did he not give the woman the right to use his last name because she was a full black woman? You understand? Because that's the whole difference between, you know, a lot of black people and, you know, on from certain places. Your ancestors raped you and let you keep the name. Our ancestors raped us and didn't let us keep the name. So you thought you were better than us because your rapist let you keep it. At least gave you the name. You know, it's like saying at least your rapist used a condom. If he did, you wouldn't be here. So when we look at the fact that Rosa Parks' father, this is Rosa Parks' father. This guy had clout. This guy held weight in this town. His picture is in the Library of Congress. Claudette Colvin's father picture is not in the Library of Congress. You know, Claudette Colvin's father is just Claudette Colvin's father. You know, we don't know if Rosa Parks' job at the NAACP, if he helped her get that job. We don't know about his relationship with Martin Luther King. You know, but we do know that this is Rosa Parks' father. And this is the reason why Rosa Parks gets the credit for not getting up off the bus when because the story with Rosa Parks is a white man told her to get up. Because, you know, at that time the white man was the complete devil. You know what I'm saying? The white devil. That's where it came from. The white men back in the days, because they were, you know, the Klan members and everything like that, and, you know, did a whole bunch of devilish shit. And so a white man told Rosa Parks to get up. I played that video yesterday of that white girl pretending to be a black girl, because she can fool, you know, a lot of like the black kids who were raised in the suburbs, who are like the only black kid in their class. You know what I'm saying? She can fool them, and she can fool other white people, but she can't fool us that know. But us that know, our voice is being suppressed. Our voice is being suppressed. Look at my live. I got 2-3 people on there. Bunch of maggots on YouTube running around talking shit, cause they running off of my whole lane and everything like that. Never even seen these niggas talk about sports before. Now all of a sudden they become a sports podcast. You know what I'm saying? But then that's when, as soon as they do that, that's when shit gets realer, and I'm focusing on the real. And like I'm saying, right, with this being Rosa Parks' father, we see why Rosa Parks gets the credit for, you know, for being part of the civil rights movement, as if Martin Luther King's actions and everything he did meant nothing without Rosa Parks. Like, it would have fell short if the Rosa Parks incident didn't happen, because the Rosa Parks incident led to the boycott. And where was that? In Alabama, I forgot where it was in Alabama. But then, you have the stories from Dr. Claude Anderson talking about the truth, the other side of the truth about what happened with, the bus lines back in the day, and how heavy that was. Transportation, how heavy that was. They were black owned, bus lines that, ran it up in the time of the boycott. You know what I'm saying? And that boycott ended up taking away money because there were a bunch of people that in the time that, the boycott was going on, of course, they ran up money. But as soon as the bill got passed not because it was the right thing to do. The bill got passed because they saw how much they were losing money by the black owned bus lines, about how much money they were making. That's why the bill got passed. You know what I'm saying? Nothing ever happens because it's the right thing to do. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're holding America up. We're putting America on the stand now because you know how to do the right thing for everybody else except for us. And I see why you silenced my platform and did all those devilish things to me these past 2 years, because you couldn't get that shit off without it. With me speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? You won't believe what if you just go down the line of the shit that America has pulled off while they were like sending me through the absolute worst and the worst. You can't do that no more. You know? Telling you, man, like, listen, we're not concerned about about the truth. We're going to tell the truth, and what happens, because as soon as I start telling the truth, that's when money just leaves me. As soon as I start telling the truth, that's when they take money away. And that's nothing but devil worship. Let's see how much. 106, 156, 500, some 400. Like, listen, that's what they do to you. That's what they will do. When you're telling the truth, they will steal from you. And what do we do? Do we just stop telling the truth because they're stealing? Because you know what happens to thieves. You could be a thief all you want. You're not gonna go far. So as we keep telling this truth, that's all I'm about. I don't know how to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to sleep. Like, I can't sleep well if I don't tell the truth. This is Rosa Parks' father. If we call Rosa Parks a plant, I don't want to call her a plant. You know what I'm saying? She's a pretty lady back in the day. You know what I'm saying? She was a pretty lady, and we saw, but we know the real. Claudette Colvin and her friends the same thing happened to them earlier. And the other thing about this story that's weird is that Claudette Colvin lived down the block from Rosa Parks. So it's not about they're stealing the camera time and they wanted the camera time. Claudette Colvin's family didn't want the camera time because they didn't have the protection that this family did. Because if they got the clout, their house probably would have got a Molotov cocktail through the window when they trying to make some dinner. They probably would have got a Molotov cocktail through the window. They probably some devilish shit probably would have happened. You know what I'm saying? Her father might have got lynched and everything like that. So it's like she go to the cute girl up the block. Yo, listen, Rosa, and hold me down, please. Rosa, I need you to hold me down because I'm trying to. You know what happened, Rosa? I was on that same bus. You know that bus we take? I was on that bus and some white girl tried to get me to get up. And after I paid my fare, you know. So listen, you cute and you half black and half white. They gonna let you tell the story, and then everybody know your dad. Everybody know your dad's you, so you can pull this off. I need you for this one, Rosa. You know what I'm saying? That's more of how it actually went down. It's not a thing about Rosa Parks stole the camera time from Claudette Colvin. We're in a day and age now where we can acknowledge two things can be true at once, and we can tell both stories. But I don't want to demonize Rosa Parks. She was working at the NAACP when the NAACP actually cared about black people, and so we're not gonna do that to her. We know what happened. You get what I'm saying? But as soon as I say we start talking about coming to get that check. As soon as I start talking about we coming to get that check, that's when they want to take money and shit. Like, goddamn, dog. I didn't even know it was like that. But we ain't never gonna stop. Mama white, daddy black, or daddy white, mama black. Yeah, that happened a lot back in the days.
At the very same time that
one thing I don't like is the politicizing of this. There's no politicizing of this at all. There's right and there's wrong. Unless you want to politicize right and wrong, there's right and there's wrong. There's stealing and there's not stealing. You get what I'm saying? So
at the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land. And
our government was giving away millions of acres of land. This is way back in the days. Our government was giving away millions. And then you look at what happened right now. We see other countries at war. Yeah, they going to war and all that, right? And a U.S. step. Oh, listen, I got $500 million for y'all. I got $500 million for y'all. I know it's only about 2,000 of y'all, but we got $500 million for y'all. You can come over here. We'll build you a nice 5-bedroom house. You get about 2.5 acres for your kids to run around with no shoes on. They used to not have no shoes, right? So they can run around in the backyard with no shoes. You know what I'm saying? The same thing was happening back in the days. So why are we still talking about this? We're still talking about this because America wants to. They want to hide. They want to hide. They want to put up this portrayal as if, oh man, this is the cutest country. Everybody want to come over here. No, everybody want to come over here because they can't get their devilish shit off in the other country. They would get their fingers cut off. You know what I'm saying? They would get their hands cut off if they did the shit that they want to do over here. Over here, they want to participate in orgies and threesomes. They can't do that shit where they come from. You know what I'm saying? They want to splat their wife best friend. Don't you know what would happen if they did that shit over there where they come from? You know what I'm saying? They would get murdered. But over here in America, oh man, that's just you know, relationship talk.
In the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they
undergird these white peasants from Europe, peasants. You over there on the streets, you over there starving. You don't got nothing over there. You don't got nothing over there. You know what I'm saying? You don't got nothing where you come from. We marching, we lose our leaders. Our leaders get killed. We lost Malcolm, Martin, Big, and Pac, plus countless other ones. You know what I'm saying? We losing our leaders. You get to keep your leaders because your leaders they not. You know what I'm saying? They're not adding up to ours. They're not even half of ours. Our leaders and what our leaders are worth of what they do. You know what I'm saying? They can't generate half as much money. And it ain't about money, but they can't generate half as much money as our leaders can. You know what I'm saying? But you get to keep your leaders. You know what I'm saying? Put them on t-shirts, and then, you know, when we black and we knowledgeable, and we know about your leaders, and we know about when we bring it up, you look at us all funny and shit. You get to look at us all funny. You know about Alejandro? How you know about Alejandro? You know about that? You ever know about his broke ass? You know about that nigga? That nigga wasn't nobody. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in your country, in your culture, you get to build them up and boost them up and everything like that. You know, that's one of the things that bothers me about people that come to Atlanta. People that come to Atlanta, which is one of the reasons, other problem that I have with Atlanta for not stomping down and showing what the real culture is, and trying to go away from people saying, there's so many people that come to Atlanta and said, oh, Atlanta don't have no culture, and Atlanta started buying into that shit. That's when my love for them started going down. When they started buying into that shit of saying Atlanta don't have no culture. If everybody want to come here, but they say that you have no culture, you keep your no cultureness up. If they say there ain't no culture, then why are you coming? Right? Because you know what culture is? Culture is some poor people shit. Culture is for poor people. The poorest countries in the world. The poorest countries in the world got culture. All they got is culture because they ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? When you got money, you want to dabble in other cultures. You want to do other shit. You start mixing up and doing different. You into different cultures. You want some shoes from Thailand. You get a shirt from Bangladesh. You wanted some pants from Africa. Your cultures are different when you get money. But when you poor as shit, only thing you got is your culture. Oh, yeah, we put basil flowers and now oatmeal. Yeah, that's because you ain't got no sugar. You know what I'm saying? In Georgia, they got sugar cane fields in the backyard. You get what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people that's from Georgia that they saw the capitalization where they can capitalize off people saying that there's no culture from it. So a lot of people capitalize on it so that they equal money. So listen, this is the capitalist country. So you know that's what they're gonna go with. But save that culture talk for some poor people shit. Alright? I wanna hear that culture talk when you got money. You got money, you fancy and you bougie and shit, and you talking about culture.
They give the land. They built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming.
They'll teach them how to farm. They had the 1960s. They had to, hire people to teach them how to farm. So you know that you aren't responsible for the building of America, because America was built off farming and stuff like that, and crops and all that type of stuff. And you didn't know how to do none of that. It was all black people responsible for all of that shit. Black people are responsible for all of that shit. We didn't get no check. This is what the check is for. Y'all didn't know how to farm until y'all gave millions. Y'all gave millions to teach these peasants, these white peasants, how to farm. And there wouldn't be no West Coast if you didn't bring the peasants over. You get what I'm saying? Let's be honest. You being honest. How much money you gonna take from me for that one? You being honest about that.
Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. This is what we are faced with.
Man, this clip right here.
This is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we're coming to get our check.
Let me stop right there. This video right here that's on YouTube, I don't think it's a mistake that there's a big ass ad that shows up in the middle of the video to block out Martin Luther King's face when he says we're coming to get our check. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't always here. But you know, once the clips start, you know, circulating and stuff like that, once we start playing on the Buffalo Times a lot and everything like that, and once we start playing it a lot, then all of a sudden you go to this clip, there's a big ass ad that shows up where Martin Luther King say, "Well, we coming to get our check." I don't think that's a mistake. I don't think that's a mistake, YouTube. Same way YouTube lied to me for years about what my real numbers are. You know? That's why we stomping down. Because, you know, they're going to get right eventually. They can't keep this lie up forever. You know? There's going to be some Enron type shit when it go down, when the truth come out on them. So, the same maggots telling us that, you know, we don't need no reparations. Just work hard. But, you know, black people, we the hardest working people. You know, don't nobody in life work harder than a black woman that work. You ever been to working with a black woman, with a black girl? Hardest working ever. But they really want to tell you that they work hard. There's no disrespect to nobody else, right? But we know who don't work hard at all, but get to keep a job for 39 years. The same job for 39 years because you ain't got no aspirations of doing anything else besides keeping your apartment in New York City. We not, you know, listen, this ain't no castigation. You know, it just bothers me. It just really bothers me when the white man tells me that I gotta work hard. That he worked so hard his whole life. He busted his ass. I'm not saying you didn't, man. I'm not saying you didn't, sir. But busting your ass, your level that equals something different in my day and age. Like busting my ass, like you busting your ass at 29 years old is the same shit I did at 13. You get what I'm saying? So it's a difference. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta keep stomping down. We just gotta keep stomping down on these maggots because they're gonna continue to lie to us for years. You know? They're gonna keep lying and lying and lying. If they ain't lying, they flying. They ain't flying.
You are the...
I want to play this clip one more time just in case anybody didn't see it because it's truly disgusting. What I saw was this is truly disgusting. It's a real insult.
We're dating black women is because I've been on dates with 3 different black women. Every single date, I have had at least one black man be aggressive toward us.
This also is, I want to add to it, this what I said last night, I want to add to it this innocent pure white man, You know, he just human loving Christian. You know, this evil black man, Willie Horton, O.J. Simpson. Because they think everybody OJ never gonna live that down. But Willie Horton, he always gives me this glare when he sees me with one of his queens. You know, and listen, before she even starts talking, y'all think this is a black woman? Y'all think this is a black woman? We know black women come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, but then also we know what a black woman can birth, a white baby and a black baby, and so don't you see that after us spreading this, spreading this information, the information being spread for years about the truth, you know what I'm saying, has been spread for years, and don't you see how this is how they play on it? This is their counter to it. But it's so sad that that they're coming down to like the last of their counter moves, and we're about to stomp them out because this is so weak. This is weak, and it's sad and it's weak. You get what I'm saying? This little innocent, pure Christian white man. Every time I took out a black girl, I had at least one black man that's been aggressive to me, man. He's just jealous that I got one of his queens and he can't get one. You know, every time I take out a black girl, and we're not going for that shit. You get what I'm saying? We really not going for that shit. And it's truly sad, man. It's really sad. I hate it because this girl right here might have been. I'm trying to think of where I saw her. I know I saw her before. But you would have been better trying to impersonate Christina Aguilera. You know? I heard people say before, I forgot what it was, but they compare Christina Aguilera's voice to Whitney Houston's voice. And I'm not disrespecting Christina Aguilera's voice at all because Christina Aguilera can sing. Christina Aguilera can sing. You know what I'm saying? But that's Christina Aguilera. She's one, that's her. That's, you know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't been able to duplicate her. I mean, I don't know how y'all been trying hard. You haven't been able to duplicate Christina Aguilera and her voice. This lady right here, she would have been better off trying to be a Christina Aguilera impersonator than trying to impersonate a black woman with a head wrap. This shit is so disrespectful. Black women with head wraps, you should be you should be ultra disrespected. Ultra disrespected. You know what I'm saying? The Queen NDRE. You know what I'm saying? You should be ultra. I wish you could speak on this, because you know who made head wraps famous, Erykah Badu and all that. You know the Badus and who else wear head wraps. All the black women and all the black hoods, black communities, the black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So this a little pure white Christian said a black man has always been aggressive to him when he takes one of their queens, because black men, we are so threatened by white men taking black women, right? We are so threatened by white men taking over black women, taking black women from us. We are just shaking in our boots. We are shaking in our boots that the white man is gonna come take all the black queens from us. Listen. Let's be honest, there is a sector of black women who have very low self-esteem. There's a sector of black women who have very low self-esteem. And then also there's another sector of black women who are raised around nothing but white people. Nothing but white people, because their parents are coons. You know, and their coon parents believe that moving to a neighborhood where there are nothing but white people, they will be safer and they will like it better. So their black daughter has nothing but white friends. Get raised up. Her first boyfriend was white. She's the only black girl in her school. And that's not a big representation for the internet to even make the internet. You get what I'm saying? That's going to be my next episode. My next episode, I may come back tonight and talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because bed wenches are not a majority of the population. They're not a majority of the population at all. You get what I'm saying? This right here is not a black woman.
I just want everybody to know that Cam's lying. I'm actually the black woman that he went on a date with, and we had a fucking great time. I don't even talk about anybody was glaring at him either, because I do remember 3 black men coming to us on our date, but the first one actually came up, gave him debt, and was like, okay, I see you. The second one came up and was like, yo, you want to join my 3-on-3 team at LA Fitness? Because I see you with a sister. You must have hops, right? That's what's happened. And they exchanged numbers. The third one actually came up, and he was like, okay, white boy, I see you got a queen out here.
This right here, this part right here, you know, you showed your ass. You showed your ass. You fucked up. Because we know that you're white. Because you don't know how to say it. You're like, okay, white boy. Okay, white boy. No, that's not. If that wasn't. If this was true, it would have been okay, white boy. Okay, white boy. Something like that. But the Southerners can say it better than me. White boy. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have sounded the way that she's saying it. The way that she's saying it, she doesn't sound like a black girl at all. Okay, white boy. Okay, white boy. Got you a black girl, white boy. Right? That is Southerners? Tell me Southerners. Okay, white boy. And that's Kwame Brown. He could do it better. Okay, white boy. You know what I'm saying? I see you got a black girl, so you must have hops. I know you got a 40-something inch vertical. I know you be jumping from the free throw line because you got a black girl, right? You like Brent Barry. I know you know what I'm saying. I know you, fam. So let me get your number, fam. Let me get your number. Right? And also, we see that this came from LA. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, LA Fitness is everywhere. I'm sorry. But you know, I was just trying to piece it together. Trying to figure out exactly where this is going at, because this had to be one of those ultra mixed up towns.
White boy, I see you. Go ahead, white boy. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly. So Cam is lying to the internet right now. No black man glared. No black man said anything negative to him. And they actually asked him to join their basketball team. Said that he had hops because he was on a date with me. So like I said, I don't know why he's on the internet lying. The date went excellent. We had a great time. I have my notebook with all my notes that I needed for the experiment that I obviously was doing to be on a date with a man like that. I have all the information that I...
Black women. So there are. This is an encouragement for black women to just give white boys just to try. Take your notebook and your notepad and you know, so that you can take notes on this experiment, because that's all we need you to do. We're just doing an experiment. That's all. I didn't read any of these comments, but I bet if you went through the comments, somebody is calling this out. Somebody's letting you know that this ain't no white girl. This ain't no black girl. This ain't no black woman.
I had from that, including the fact that he was on the internet after we went on that date and lie to y'all. And clearly, like I said, my hypothesis, observation, and result and conclusion is correct that he was going to get on the internet and lie. And clearly he did, because that's all y'all know to do is lie. Anyway, so to those 3 black men, the one that gave the death, the one that actually joined the basketball team, and I see you white boy, stitch my video to confirm that Cam is lying to everybody, because I know y'all going to see this video and let everybody know that Cam lying, because I remember y'all came up to us and you without it. Ain't nobody glared at him, ain't nobody say nothing negative at all. He hold your face line. And for everybody watching this video, I guarantee you my story sound more realistic than what the fuck he just said. You know it.
So, why do you think that they had to add in, you know, in the beginning of the video saying, oh, I'm the black girl, I'm the black woman or whatever, and then at the end saying, oh, I know I sound more realistic than he does, because this is an experiment. This is not real. You know what I'm saying? This is the day and age where they put a bunch of fake shit in your face, and they want you, consumer, to eat it up. You know what I'm saying? And they want you to consume to eat it up. Why do you think my YouTube numbers are low? Because they say, yo, we don't want the real on YouTube. This is not the place for the real. You know what I'm saying? We're not allowing you to make any money off of YouTube. You're not allowing you to gain a following. We're not allowing you to build up a intellectual army. We're not allowing any of that anymore. Because what we want to do is package up bullshit and feed it to the masses. You know, we want to feed the masses nothing but junk food. Because if we feed them real shit, that's going to cut down on our profit margins. So listen, I'm going to come back later on and I'm going to expose this shit right here. This is a sad effort to be a black girl. Sad effort for a black girl. You know what I'm saying? Black women should be enraged because she talking all fast with the ghetto cadence, and you know, trying to like a black woman with the head wrap got a ghetto cadence and shit like that. Like it's bad. You couldn't put it together. Let your hair let your hair down. Let us see that lights fall out. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. When I'm up here speaking the real, listen, I'm up here speaking the real. There's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of black people, black dudes that, you know, that jump on headlines and shit like that. They jump on headlines, making it seem as if they care about the people. And it's sad because I see like the people just seem to be like a, you know, like a grab bag, you know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is stomp down and put your claim on it, you can have them. But you know, listen, man. Let's see. I bet they did some more devilish deeds. An old lady. And you don't pray? Wake up, man, with everybody. Ooh. Instagram got devils, better talk right. Let me see, man. I'm just trying to make sure I add it up for later. You know. Leave me alone. You know, just stop hacking my, you know, my shit. Leave me alone, devil. Oh. Listen, man. There's some more shit I could talk about. Trying to make sure that I'm getting it all out. You know, social media is flooded with Black history. I don't think social media would really last if it wasn't for Black history. Black history being made every single day. And without some Black history, I think social media is really falling.
Get back up. We make the moves that break the rules. A fool and his money assume orders that we take from fools. If and when you ever fall down, get back up. Drop something. Stop fronting. Pick that shit back up. Stand for something or fall for everything. Wait for the right pitch or miss with every swing. In the absence of the truth, bullshit prevails. So they done fucked around and threw truth in jail. The objective is to keep you blind. So along with the handcuffs in your arms, you got shackles on your mind. Seek and you shall find. Except failure is the only crime. Fall down 8 times, get up 9.
The objective is to keep you blind. Yeah, man. Let me just see. Yeah, we got one person in here, right? I told y'all what YouTube doing. Then you think it's a joke? You think it's a game? This real shit that we talking about. You know, one day I'm gonna break the chains. One day I'm gonna break the chains, right? And all of a sudden I'm gonna log on. There's gonna be people here. I ain't gonna be excited at all, YouTube, cause I know y'all lying. Cause I know y'all been lying. So I'm gonna go and get up out of here. I'll return later on, talk about the Bedwinchism. But stay up, man. Salute. We out of here.